Well, it's all the gin gone. I suppose I'd better get on with it. Oh, let's go and have a look what's in the box. Oh, right, it happened. The day has finally arrived when a Warhammer kit has ended up on this bench. But looking at it, I don't think I'm going to mind. It's the, as you can see, it's the Astra Militarum Hydra. Hopefully I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I apologise. It was sent to me by my good friend Fox. I didn't know what was coming. He said there was a parcel on its way, and he'd always said he would get me building a Warhammer kit, and I've always said no, and hid behind the sofa when the postman's been going past. But today he eventually caught me and he delivered this kit. Now first, looking around the box, I don't think I'm actually disappointed. It looks quite a nice kit. Certainly a lot of nice colourful box art. I quite like this colour scheme. Very reminiscent of World War One, that sort of thing. It's got tracks on it, so it's not too far away from being a tank. Well, I suppose it is a tank. It's got figures. It's got quite a lot of detail on it. Also has a list of rather unpronounceable paint names. I'd have to take the box with me, I think, if I went to the shop to ask for these and not embarrass myself. But yeah, I know I said no, I'd never build one because it's just not my thing. I'm not into tabletop gaming or sci-fi or anything like that. I don't know whether this is classed as sci-fi. Maybe it is. So I thought what I'd do, when I come to build it, I'd build it in my way and also a way for anybody else that's just new into Warhammer. I might combine the two methods of painting, the Warhammer paints, and mix them with the traditional way of painting, and we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, so watch as I try to develop into a Warhammer builder and see how well or how bad I do. So it's really a time to have a look in the box now and see what's in it. I've taken the foil wrapping off. I was too eager just to have a look, but all I did was take the top off. But yeah, there's a few sprues in there. I put the top back on. So I honestly haven't had a look at the sprues or anything that's on it before. So we're now about to find out. So right, without further ado, and I don't think we need to go to a second scene, let's have a look in. Quite a well packed box, yeah. Looks good. And there's what? Ah, there's just two sprues in here. Quite solid plastic, really. I know that compared to the trumpeter kit I'm building, it doesn't seem to be anything particularly fragile. Yeah, it's got some nice sharp moulding, some nice detail. There's the tracks, I guess, and yeah, generally really firm styrene. I'm taking it, I'll have to ask advice, but I take it all goes together with the usual polystyrene cement or extra thin, something like that. But these, yeah, looks, each part's numbered. There's a figure there and another one there. So I can see at least two figures. There may be more. Let's have a look. 1, 2. Yeah, some nice detail as well. Yeah, lots of stuff. set of decals. I don't know what Warhammer decals are like. Obviously a number of options there for different battalions or anything, I don't know. What, and an instruction sheet. Yeah, nothing else in the box. Get that out of the way. Astra Militarum. Choose the variant you want to build, it says. Anti-aircraft guns. Howitzers. Right, there's a Hydra and a Wyvern. Yeah, it's a nice, really well printed instruction booklet. It's not a piece of just copy paper. Quite nice. Obviously tells you the kit, the pieces that you need to build. Yeah, we've got all of them. And onto heavy bolter or heavy flamer. Options there. Chassis required, chassis assembly. Yeah, doesn't seem to be too many stages to go along. Turret ring assembly. Glue both harnesses. It tells you how to put the guy on it. So 1, 2. Oh, looks like there's 1, 2. Yeah, it looks like there's 2 figures in there. Well printed. As I say, I've never seen anything like this before. I've seen, obviously, yeah, I've seen guys with the ready built models. I've never seen inside a Warhammer box. So now's my time to pick it up and get along and have a go myself. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fairly quick build, and then I suppose the fun comes round to the painting and the weathering and everything like that. But yeah, two versions. Got to make my mind up which I'm going to do. Vehicle tank open topped. Vehicle troop type. Yeah, now that means something to someone. Armour BS 3, F12, S10, R10, HP. I've no idea what it means. I'll have to do some research. Right, on with the build. I'll go and have a bit of research and see how we can do this. And maybe we might even make a start in this video. If I come back in a couple of seconds, I'll be starting. Okay. Oops, you caught me. Alright, yeah, I'll admit it, yeah, I've started the build. I couldn't resist it any longer, because it looks quite a nice kit. I'm really impressed, as I say. One thing I have found almost straight away is that these guys have got their act together. I cut these pieces off the sprue, thinking that they're for the same side, but they're not. No matter which way around they go, they might look the same, but the guys have very cleverly, although it's a different shape, the guys have very cleverly designed it so that the locating pins will only fit on the respective sides of the vehicle, and it'll only go on one way. So right, I just cut these bits out and then we'll have a look. I'm just using a pair of good sprue cutters. They're quite sharp. It allows me to get as close to the part as possible, leaving as little nub as possible. I can't see there being any particular problems with this build. I see it being a really quick, easy build. From the research that I've done, I've found that, or I've seen on Warhammer TV, the guy on there, sorry, I can't think of his name. Sorry Fox, you'll have to remind me of his name later. Can't think of his name. Duncan. I think it was Duncan. Was it Duncan? he had one of these kits, and it seems that it looks like he's put it all together and left the tracks off until after he's painted it, which probably is a good idea. Anyway, we'll get these together, and they do actually seem to clip. Where's my extra thin? Can't get the top off. Ow! There we go. Just a dab. I have seen a way of painting this, and I've seen how, I think he was called Duncan, I've seen how he paints it in Citadel colours. Now, I'm sure for a lot of us armour builders, we already have, or will have, probably have, lots of similar colours in stock on the shelf in the paint rack. So for the time being, I can't see there being any reason, unless you tell me differently, why we can't use some of them. I don't think there's a particular exact colour for these guys. I'm sure there'll be the recommended Citadel paints, but yeah, I'm not going to go gaming with this. I know there might be a lot of gamers out there that might say, oh, it's painted the wrong colour, it's painted the wrong shade of green, but yeah, it's my first one. I'm having a go, and you never know, I might get hooked. I'm certainly liking the vehicles. I don't think I'm one for painting masses and masses of figures for an army. I'll probably paint one or two. Well, there are two in this kit. There we go. There's the two sides already done. That didn't take long, did it? Just the nubs to clean up. Hang on. There's no detail around the nubs here anyway, so let's get on with doing that. In the meantime, I'll go clean some nubs off, and we'll see you for the next stage in a minute. Alright, that's the sides of the vehicle done, denubbed. Yeah, as I said, the plastic in this kit does seem a bit more substantial than some I've came across. So a little bit more work just to take the nubs off, but nothing that a decent skinny stick or emery board won't look after. There is some nice detail on the sides of this. It's going to make for a nice paint exercise when we get round to that. I'm not sure whether to call it a vehicle or a tank. I'll probably end up referring it to it as a tank just by force of habit, really. But forgive me if I've got the terminology wrong. Hydra, tank, vehicle, whatever. Yeah, as I said, I'll probably end up being referred to as a tank. But there's two parts, as I said, nice crisp detail on there, and some nice paddle lines and such rivet detail that I'm sure we can paint up very nicely when we get there. On about the plastic on the sprues, I have noticed that particularly on the first sprue, not this one, that one, the parts, unlike in a regular kit, are not numbered. So it's really a case of identifying and matching the parts in the instructions to the ones on the sprue. Just make sure you've got the right ones. Not really difficult. There's not a lot of parts to match. Might be a bit more when it comes to the tracks, but we'll look at that when we get to them. As I say, I've found out that at the moment we're not going to put the tracks on anyway, so we'll leave them off. The second sprue though has got numbers on. It is numbered up and down the tree, so it's just a matter of matching them up. I've looked through the instructions, and yeah, as we get further on in the build, the parts do become numbered and identifiable that way, particularly when mounting the figures up here. So doesn't seem too complex. Now the next bit, what we're doing, no, that's not that bit. Chassis assembly, assemblage du châssis, montage del châssis. Yes, you can see that the instructions are multilingual, unlike me. So these bits, yep, I picked them off earlier, identified them, and it's time to glue them together. Denub when I can. I do that first before we started any gluing, and then with a good old Tamiya extra thin, just run some through on the inside joints, and as we know, the capillary action will take them all and suck them all together. That's that one. Just hold it a little bit firmer. If you are really in a hurry, I'm not that particularly much of a hurry, plus I've got lots of it. I've got Tamiya extra thin, but there's also available a Tamiya extra thin, extra quick setting. So, or if you're in it, I don't know, it does work. It does work quite quickly. I usually use that sort of stuff in places where, you know, where you can't get a clamp or something on to hold things together, and you just need to hold it on with your hands until the glue goes off. And sometimes you can be sat there for ages just waiting for the glue to go. But we don't need it in anything like this. That one should do there. Where's the next bit? That bit here just wants a bit of cleaning up on there. There's a couple of pieces that I don't want to snap off. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be any seam lines as well on these either. Any mould lines, injection lines. That's quite a nice thing to do. Don't have to sort about fixing them as well as the nubs. I think that's all cleaned up. Just checking it's on the right way. Yeah, clips together right now. That won't fit. Need to just denub that a bit. Like a nice close fit. Just brush the extra plastic off. And that one will go there. Now I was thinking I might have to do something like 6 episodes of this, but I actually think I might get it all done in this one. Certainly up to the painting stage. Right, now we're getting into the parts of the numbered parts. Put that to the side there, leave that there, and that over there. We can get to the next sprue and put some more pieces off. Number 1. I think that's number 1. Yeah, that's number 1. They're certainly well affixed to the sprue. Lots of places. Oops, missed one. Remember the days when we used to get our Airfix from the shop? We didn't have things like these. Probably didn't even have a craft knife for them days. We just used to twist things off. Just pull them off and glue them together. Yeah, there was no denubbing them days. They were the days before denubbing. And then you'd paint them with one paintbrush that looked somewhat like that. and that would do the whole model with your tin of Humbrol, usually in one colour, one thick coat. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's not like Warhammer, two thin coats. Humbrol, big brush, Airfix kit, one thick coat. That's all it used to get. And then you get it all over your mum's living room table. And that was you grounded. Well, we didn't even have grounded when I was a kid. There was no naughty steps or grounded then. They really are quite nice mouldings. They're nice and sharp. Just a few, the nubs are the main thing, because get this off, and that one, oops, and the next one. Now we need this turret ring thing. So I bet you never thought you'd see Skipper Ted building Warhammer. Well, here he is doing it. It's actually quite a nice thing to do. It's yeah, we're still on with the U-boat. We're still building that. I've just done another project as well, and it's quite nice just to have an in-between build, just to keep the mojo going. And it's always nice to look at something else and a different genre of stuff, just to try something different. Yeah, yes, I've built a Gundam, so I've been there, I've done that. I never got round to painting it, I just really clipped it together. So that's that one. Where do we go from here? Oh, they go on there. Right, so put some glue in them then. Let's try to keep it up so that the glue goes into the joints. Just hold it upside down for a little bit. And we continue. So that. Right, I'll go get the other parts cut out and sort of ready to build, and then we'll come back and we'll get it to something like this stitch. Alright, I'll go continue with that. See you in a minute. Right, that's that bit done. Just as you left me before, I was gluing this top part onto the whatever this bit is. I believe it's a turret ring, looking further ahead in the instructions. I did read the instructions a little bit out of sync, and here it actually shows this little hand wheel that goes onto a sort of pump assembly or something like that. That goes in there. So fortunately, I'd managed to take it apart again and put the little hand wheel on and go in there. If it's missed, it's missed, but never mind. I've got it on in the end anyway. The next stage was then to assemble sort of a second deck. Put the two decks together. This one, the little chassis that we made before, and that turret ring assembly goes then on top of that. It does say to put this piece in, which way around did it go? It does say to put that piece in there first, but I'll put them together. I don't think it makes much difference because they're all about to go together now. Let's have a look, see if we could do this somehow. Hang on. You see that there are sort of gluing positions to put it all together on with. That'll go in there, that'll do there, go there. Yes, we're in. That's the first bit done. A little bit of glue along the bottom. Could let that start and work its magic. If any of you guys have found my video, by the way, and Warhammer builders yourself, or looking to get into Warhammer, you may not, you may not have heard about the Tamiya Extra Thin. If you can find some of this rather than the sort of tube type glues that are recommended, this stuff is brilliant because you can put it on, works by capillary action, and also any glue on the surface just evaporates off and doesn't leave horrible blobs, and it works fairly quickly as well. Right, that's that side on. Now the other side. Somehow. That's that one. Two sides. Same again down here. Bit of glue into there. Right, I'm going to put some elastic bands around it. Just to stop it falling apart while the glue sets. It will set fairly quickly, the glue, as you know, but I shall leave it and put it to one side and get on with the next bit. Another one because I've got one. Might as well use them all because I've got them out. Right, that's the base of the tank done. It's quite a substantial bit of plastic really. It's quite nice. It's not a small miniature type thing. Quite nice. Looking good. And at that, I think we'll leave it for now. I'm only going to make these short videos just to show you how I put this together. Next stage, it looks like there's a little bit more work to do on the hull. I've got to choose next whether to go for a heavy bolter or a heavy flamer, whatever they are. Let's have a look at the instructions, see if it tells us any more about it. Choice of parts, yeah, that's what the little cogwheels are. Choice of parts, so a heavy bolter or a heavy flamer. I'll have to make a decision of what I'm going to put on. And some other bits. And then, it looks like we're into building figures, and there's a gunner. Looks like we're into building the turret. once again, I think a decision has to be made. Right. A twinned linked Hydra autocannon, or yeah, it's a twin linked Hydra Horde. Right, I'll have to read about this, see what's going to happen next. I think I've got an option. Or have a. Do the barrels just push in and out? I'm not sure on that. I'll have a look. We'll work that out when we get to it. But in the meantime, thanks for watching part 1 of this Warhammer episode of me putting a Warhammer together for the first time. Come along for the next one. There'll certainly be a part 2. Well, there'll have to be a part 2 because we'll look at the building the turret, and we might even start getting some paint on because it goes together quite quick. I don't know how long this video has been going on for, but it's probably long enough now anyway. So that's it from me, Ted, and I'll see you all again sometime on the tubes. Bye.